We've got some
Hey, I'm Luis.
And I'm Luis.
And you're listening to the Content is Profit podcast.
We spent the last 4 years learning the strategies and techniques from some of the top marketers in the world on how to create content that turns into profit. And today, we're bringing them to you so you can take action immediately and start creating real content momentum.
If you'd like to learn more about how to turn your content into profit, go to contentisprofit.com. Oh, yeah. Today, we have a special surprise for you. We came across today's guest on TikTok and we have been hooked. Not sure if it was because of his incredible, insightful lessons or due to his magnificent stash.
Le Magnifique Stash. Today's guest is one of the best at making complex topics simple. He's an entrepreneur, inventor, and educator that left his life as a fireman to build a 7-figure business. Also, he's the host of the Be Good to Future You podcast. So we got it right. He is a fireman.
Let's go. Not to mention that he has built an incredible following through the content that he has been consistently putting out into the world. Now, he is constantly building and growing a business as a way to become financially immortal. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get this party started. Please welcome top educator, founder of Banner Growth, and TikTok most epic stash, Evan Bonnaken. Evan, what is up, man?
Luis, FONZI. Hey, guys. It's good to see you.
Nice seeing you too.
What an intro, man. I've never had one like that. You guys have got it down.
Appreciate it, man.
Welcome, man. Thank you. By the way,
I hope we didn't butcher your last name.
I know that's public apologies.
You did a great job.
Thank you. Our English is not very good looking sometimes, and it's Friday, so it's Friday. But Evan, we're extremely excited to have you here. We've been hooked by your content. I love the fact that you make these concepts very, very simple to understand, and that we're definitely going to be diving into that. But for those who might not be familiar with you, with your story on publishing on your business, on what you're currently doing, can you tell us a little bit like how everything started?
Sure. I'd be happy to. So, God, there's this thing I call, it's kind of a blessing and a curse, that entrepreneurial bug. You guys have it too. You know what I'm talking about. But it's that need to solve problems is really the way I look at it. I love it. I love solving problems and figuring out ways to do things better. So when I was growing up, I had a bunch of random jobs. I was mowing lawns and working in restaurants and, doing construction and just all kinds of stuff, dude. Like I tried everything I could think of. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I'm tired of all these jobs. I just want some security. Let's see what the 9-to-5 rat race has for me. Let's see what a real job is really like with a pension and benefits where I can just settle down and relax. And that's when I became a fireman. And so when I was like 19, I'd started to pursue that career, and it took me like 5 years to get hired. I became a paramedic. Wow. I got my EMT. I worked for multiple fire departments. I went through 2 fire academies. Like it was just my life. That's what I did. And I finally landed the job that I wanted. And I thought that was it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm here. But I couldn't shake that itch, dude. It was still there. I still had that bug. And so when I got hired at that fire department, we went through this fire academy that kicked our asses. It was like 18 weeks of some of the hardest, the most demanding work that I've ever done in my life. Really taught you where your limits were. And I'm grateful for that. But we wanted to commemorate that experience as a group. We went through it as a team.
Yeah.
There was like 30 of us. And so I decided to make a plaque. I was a woodworker at the time. I had a wood shop and I was making furniture and all kinds of other things. One of those businesses that didn't quite work out. And so I built this big, beautiful plaque, and I really wanted to wood burn our motto into that plaque. Our motto was together in, together out. That's what we'd come up with. And I'm like, man, how cool would it be for a firefighter to burn that into a piece of wood and commemorate our experience? So I grabbed my soldering iron and I plugged it into a wall and I wrecked the entire project. I fucked up the whole thing and I had to start over because I wasn't skilled enough with a wood burning tool. And I was like, man, this is a problem. There's got to be another way. And so my wife and I did some research. We put our heads together, and over the course of a week, we've tested out some different chemical solutions, and we used it to print out. What we did is print out a stencil, And then we painted on this chemical solution. And then we took the stencil off. And then we heated it up with a heat gun. And it burned the wood only where we drew. And it worked. And that's how we invented our first successful product, which is the scorch marker.
Wow. Let's go.
Yeah. And so it's a wood burning craft marker. So if you draw on wood with it and apply heat, it burns wood only where you drew.
That's so wow.
So that's where the first like big problem solving like came in. And we solved that problem and we're like, oh, hey, you know, what if we sold this to other people? So this is the best part of the story. This is my favorite part. And I love sharing this with people. But I was sitting at the coffee table in the fire station. When, you know, when you're on duty and the next crew comes in the morning, everybody sits at the coffee table and they have a cup of coffee. They pass down what happened, what's going on. And, you know, it's like a crew changeover. It's one of our favorite parts of the day. And I was talking to a captain that had come on that day. His name was Josh. And I knew he had an Amazon business. So I asked him what he was doing with it. And Josh was a guy who invented an Apple Watch wristband made out of paracord with an adjustable link. And so he found a company in China to make it for him.
Yeah.
He ordered some prototypes, had them sent over, and all he had to do was put them in a bag, send them off to Amazon, and they would handle the shipping, the payment, the fulfillment, customer service, all of it. And he was making $8,000 a month. Wow. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Out of paracord.
I this guy knows some shit. And so I picked his brain for the rest of the shift. And then at the end, I was like, man, if he can do it, why can't I do it? And that's when I just started. We took that liquid I talked to you about, the scorch marker, and we put it in an empty marker. I printed out some labels on my computer and I started hand making each one and just selling them on Amazon. And that was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow.
And so fast forward from there, you know, this is like the first like product that we've turned into a company. Yeah. And now I've just gone deep into the entrepreneurial rabbit hole. Deep, my friends.
Head first, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So deep that I no longer work at the fire department anymore. And my main focus is just growing the businesses and solving problems, with the resources that we have. And so you're right. It did turn into $1 million company. We did $1 million in sales last year.
Let's go.
Dude,
the crowd going crazy.
I'm really excited. Now there's profit too. Don't worry. It's not just all net. So it's not just all gross, but yeah, man, it's been a wild ride. And so now I really, really enjoy learning different skills and then applying to my businesses. And then if it works, I teach people on social media because it's something that's fun for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's how you got our attention. You know, the video that we were talking about was you were explaining why is it better to have your own business, right, than being an employee, right? And then the taxing that goes through that. And I was like, man, this is amazing. I love the way you explained it all. And like I mentioned, your pen, I don't know if you have it right there for those that are watching. It's so epic. It's like a bullet, right?
my mom gave it to me. Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. And I was like, man, this guy's so cool. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, your voice is like mellow. It's like, dude, I want to listen to this guy all day. And you're a great storyteller, right? For those that are listening right now, just notice how well he shared the story. And there's a few elements in here that I would love to break down. Before I dive into this, I don't know if you have anything to share because I'm gonna take over.
I just want to say thank you, Evan, for sharing that story, right? Because when a lot of people decide to take on the journey of the entrepreneur, right? Sometimes we have that itch, but it takes a little bit to find exactly what that itch is and to make it profitable or to start even selling something, right? And for us, we tried a few things. Like we tried screen printing t-shirts, we tried vinyl stickers, we tried agency side of things. And then that's how we got into content. And then it evolved into the machine that we have right now with the podcast and helping clients do that, right? At the same time. But it took us a second. It took us a few years, right? And we're not in the $1 million, but we're on our way there. And that's okay because one of the things that we learn along the journey is like, well, first, obviously, we have to solve a problem, right? If we don't have those results for the person that's purchasing either the product or the service, might as well not do anything. And then at the same time, we're having fun with it, right? So I'm sure like that whole process, right? Obviously there's ups and downs, and the fact that you had a community that helped you, have your wife helping you out as well. For us, having that person next to each other, which in this case was FONZI for me, and hopefully I was his case for him, but it really helped us. It helped us, you know, bounce ideas of each other, get feedback. Just like whenever I was feeling low, like he will push me. Whenever he's feeling low, I push him. Most of the time I keep pushing him. You know, so I think those are all lessons, you know, that whether, you know, whenever we decide to make that jump into entrepreneurship, we have to be aware that that's going to happen, right? And I went to business school, right? Technically, like I graduated with a business degree, and nobody teaches you that, right? Like they're like, okay, Six Sigma, and that's all I remember from from it, right?
Yeah,
and then
I
you're
don't
like,
remember anything about it, but
but yeah. So I just want to say thank you for sharing that story, right? Because it's incredible, and that was like a really small amazing problem that you solved, and then there's other people that are probably experiencing those problems, and you can always help them, right?
Yeah.
So even if it's something like that small, go at it, like go in, go all in, because you can make it happen.
You never know what can come out of it. And there's two things that you mentioned that I think they went a little bit under the radar, and I want people to really catch these ones. Write them down if you have pen and paper. You said there must be another way, right? And I think that is the entrepreneurial bug, right? When you start doing something, taking action, and you face a problem, right? You're like, okay, there must be a better way, right? That I can do this. And not only for yourself, but for others. And actually, we were at a conference last week, and they share a pretty cool definition for entrepreneur, which I'm about to butcher a little bit, but it was around the terms of you're an entrepreneur when you take on problems of somebody else and find the solution for them, right? And that's what you happen. Like that, you did that. People were trying to do this with, you know, wood and burn them and all that stuff. And you're like, there must be another way. And number two, you said, I just started, right? I just started. That is such a key part right there, because we live in I would call it informational age. There's so much. I mean, you can find whatever you want, whenever you want, right? It's as easy as just typing something in your computer and you're going to find information. But at the end of the day, I think too much information gets to a point where you become overwhelmed and you don't execute. But you said, I just got started. So what can entrepreneurs, right, that might be in that stage of, I have the idea, right? There must be a better way. How can they get started without getting sucked into the informational realm of no taking action?
I like that question. That's a good one. Entrepreneurs, when they decide to start, imagine yourself as standing at a cliff. And if you want to learn how to fly, you have to jump off the cliff and then build your wings on the way down. You can't build your wings first. You don't know what you're going to be experiencing. You just got to go. And so that's why I like that question, because when I started, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know shit, to be honest with you. I still don't know shit. But I was like, well, if this guy sold and is making money on Amazon, then why don't I just start there? And so I went on Seller Central. I figured out how to open up an account. I had my buddy help me with an LLC to kind of get started up. I applied for an extra credit card so I could have some spending power and buy some raw materials. And I just started taking pictures with my phone and Googled how to remove the background so I could have a white image. You know, like Amazon wouldn't even let me list my stuff like multiple times because it was, nope, your image isn't right. Nope, you got to pass the hazmat test. Like, nope, you got to do this. You got to get a UPC. And so every time I was faced with an issue, I would just find the answer to it. Yeah. Oh, I need a UPC. All right. How do I get a UPC? Oh, okay. I'll buy it. And that's just kind of how it started, dude. One thing after another. And then we just started to grow. We didn't sell anything for months. Yeah. I forgot about it. I forgot about the product that we had listed. Oh, hold on. Let me get this plugged in.
Yeah, no worries.
I completely forgot about it. We didn't sell a single thing. And then 3 months later, we got one sale. And I was like, I better make one.
Yeah.
Mixed up some stuff, filled up the empty markers we bought off from overseas, and boom, I shipped it off and I sold it, and then we sold another one, and then I remember I sent one to an influencer I really liked, a YouTuber I've been watching, a woodworker.
Oh, nice.
And he talked about it in one of his live streams, and I got 10 sales from it. And he was just being a nice guy. He's like, "Oh, check out this cool thing. You know, Evan sent me, and oh, that's pretty neat. Works. That's pretty cool." And then boom, 10 sales, and I was like, whoa, that's what marketing is. And then boom, more questions, more rabbit holes. And then I've just kept going and going and going. So you just got to pick a point and start, man. It's true.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
I love the more questions, more rabbit holes, and then that relentlessness of keep going.
I want to highlight is the action taker, right? Like, because like you took action. A lot of times we get wrapped up in that information rabbit hole mode, and then we're like, I want to know more, and then I want to know more, and then I want to know more, and then we don't take action, right? And that's the thing, right? And sometimes overwhelm also comes from trying to think about how am I actually going to do this, right? In the conference, we heard a couple of people, and that was a big topic where people really get overwhelmed, right? And then they freeze is because they go immediately to the, how am I actually going to do this? Like before, they start executing. So I love your journey because, it's little steps, right? It's like, putting your blinders, look like maybe 1-2 steps ahead, executing, something comes up. Okay, let's figure out what's next. Let's figure out what's next. Yeah. And that's really like, as we look back to our journey, same thing, right? And sometimes Fonzie goes into those like rabbit holes and then we don't see him for months, but that's okay.
They're fun, man.
But that's why you gotta find somebody that can push you. My wife, for example, she, as soon as like I go into those things, she like knocks on the door, like, come on, man, what are you doing? Right, let's go execute. And she keeps us accountable. So that's awesome. Very important. So and I love it. So thank you for picturing, giving us the full picture of like, how do we do this, right? And at the end of the day, is the information is available. We just have to make the commitment to take action and solve that problem.
Yeah, I love the fact that you highlighted the 3 months that you didn't sell anything, right? Because a lot of people, when they share their story, is very pretty. It's like, hey, I started, I hit some roadblocks here and there, but then, the business took off. And it's important to share these pieces of information, like the 3 months you didn't sell anything, right? For us, it was back in March last year when they closed everything here in Florida, and we lost 80% of our business. And we're like, okay, well, what are we going to do now, right? And that's when the podcast started. So I'm curious, how do you deal with that, right? Because people are going to face roadblocks, plenty of them, right? For those that are into storytelling, if you read or know about Joseph Campbell, The Hero's Journey, right? I mean, that storytelling framework, that everybody has a wall that you're going to hit. So how do you deal with that personally, mentally, right? I'm sure it's a big toll.
I'm dealing with that right now. Yeah, scorch marker. Sales are down this last quarter. And they're down significantly, and so much so that I hadn't planned for it. And I learned some valuable lessons. I learned that you need to have cash reserves on hand, and you need to plan for the downtimes. You can't just take all the money out of the company or reinvest all the money in the company all the time. So that was something I just learned recently, and it helped a lot. And so we got into this position where it's like, okay, sales are down. Why are they down? What's wrong? What's broken? What do I need to fix? And that's when I was like, well, I need objective help. And so I did a couple of things. I brought it up with my business coach, and we started focusing on it. I think business coaches are huge to help get an objective look from the outside in.
Yes.
Then second, I started figuring out how to diagnose my business. And so I started reading books like Fix This Next, or Traction, or Extreme Ownership. And I'm devouring books so I can learn what skills other business owners have learned to fix this. And so then I sit down with my team and my wife, and we're like, all right, what are all the problems in our business right now? We make a huge list, right? What needs to be fixed first? And then we prioritize those and set them in manageable goals for the quarter. We call them rocks. It's something we learned in Traction. But we like an elephant eats one peanut at a time, right? You got to do everything like one little bit at a time. See, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, baby.
And so we broke it all down into bite-sized manageable chunks. And we basically realized that either the website was broken, the product was broken, or the traffic that we were driving there is broken. Maybe it's a combination of all three. So what do we need to do? We got to work on the product. So I'm working with our 9th chemist to try and make the formula where I want it to be. So it's just badass and dominates the competition. The website, we just launched a brand new one today. We've been working on it for months. Right? The traffic, we're redesigning the marketing plan and redefining who our perfect customer is so that we can find out who they are and target them. Like we just start to piece by piece and start pulling on levers until we find out what works. That's how I deal with problems and challenges, especially right now.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it. I love that last, you start pulling on levers, right? And I think again, one of probably the downsides of having information so easyable. Is that even a word? So
it is now.
so easy to access, right? People become lazy and they're like, okay, just give me the answers, right? But what most people don't realize is like, yes, that could be a good answer, but that doesn't mean it's a good answer for your business, right? And then you start doing this and all that stuff. And I think that's where action taking comes in place. Is you start testing yourself, and also you start learning and getting a feel of it. You're gonna learn way more by taking action than just reading information, right? But at the same time, I agree with, being part of having a coach or being part of like a mastermind. For us, that was huge, right? Getting that outside view, objective view, like you said, from your business. It lets you see other points of views and take the according action, I guess. Wow, my English here is rough a little bit today.
I know. Take a break. Take a break, Fonzi. Okay.
I need some water.
So, Evan, I'm curious. Like, how's your experience when you went and found your first business coach or your next business coach, right? Because sometimes, because of that availability of information, we're like, I can do everything, right? And for us, it came in a moment that we had a lot of pain in the business. Like personally, like nothing was really working. We're like, okay, I think we hit rock bottom and we need that one coach that's going to take us to the next level. And then we hit a ceiling again. And then we're like, okay, we decided to find a different coach and so on, right? And we've gone through some coaches that have been incredible, right? But that process, I don't think anybody has to hit rock bottom to find that coach. So I'm very curious on your experience. Like how was that process for you? How do you make that decision? And then like, how do you find the right person?
It's a good question. And pain is a big motivator for sure. I can see where you're coming from with that. Well, I was in a position where I was skeptical of coaches because I didn't think that it was something that would be a good fit for me. I was apprehensive about it because I'm like, well, for one, there's a stigma against certain types of ways that people advertise and sell online. And in my opinion, I'm just not a big fan of like the course guru type of salespeople. And like, I don't know, there's like this lack of authenticity with a certain group of people that try and sell you information. And it put me off towards that industry. That was my preconceived notion. Okay?
Yeah.
And so what I did is I generalized and I thought all business coaches were like that, or all, educators online were like that. And that it kneecapped me for a long time until I was able to work through it. So I started talking to some of my buddies who were, had more understanding of this subject. And I'm like, bro, like, I don't know what it is. Here's my apprehension. I was honest with them. I was like, I just don't know if it's going to work. Like, is it fair to say that, professional athletes need a coach, as do entrepreneurs? I'm a professional mental athlete. Like, what kind of coach do I need? And I just started asking questions to my network and friends and people and talking about it, telling them my reservations, telling them why I was scared to do something like that and why I just didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. And eventually it was a conversation with my CPA that I was having. And I said, dude, honestly, I just feel like I have a lack of direction. I need someone to help guide my thinking a little bit because I've reached a limit. I don't know what's next. What do I learn next? Where do I go? And he's like, bro, you need to talk to Lauren. And Lauren is now my business coach. And he told me a little bit about her. And I was like, you know what? It can't hurt to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I had a conversation. We ended up being a good fit. And then now we meet every 2 weeks and she knows what's going on with my businesses. And she helps me work and keeps me accountable, focuses me on the things that I need to stay focused on, and just gives me outside opinions. And it has been huge.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this moment
before.
Wait, I'm gonna take this moment here to plug your course that you used to help people, right, Evan? And feel free to share about it. Share a little bit about it because I know this can help people move from 0 to 1 and start getting that momentum inside of their business.
Sure, I'll take it. Thanks for the opportunity, man. So when I first started building my personal brand, because like I got on TikTok when I was originally making firefighting videos on TikTok, right? That's how I started. And once I realized that all the attention was there and how powerful that platform was, I was like, I need to start making videos about shit that I really like. And that's when I started making videos about business. And so during that time, I was like, I want to talk to this community. I want to learn what their problems are so I can solve them. And so I opened up myself for Zoom calls with people, and I did hundreds of Zoom calls with random people on TikTok. And I just recorded them. And you know what happened? And I didn't realize it at the time, but I learned what everybody's problems were. I know I learned everybody has the same questions and it's around the same things. And so I was like, dude, I need a way to teach more people instead of one-on-one because I can't reach enough souls this way. And so that's when I kicked my family out of the house for a week, sent them on vacation. And I sat down in front of my computer with my camera and I recorded an entire business course. It's 50 videos. And I sat down and I crafted legal docs with an attorney. And, you know, I went through a whole flow of like how to answer all those questions from the idea all the way up to building out an S Corp so that you can save more money on taxes. And I wanted a way to teach people when I wasn't available. And so that's why I did it. And so now it's just it's an extra way for me to bring energy into the machine to continue to educate and then feed these projects to solve problems. Thanks for letting me plug that.
Absolutely. Where can people find it? Where can people go to?
Vanator.com.
Let's go. By the way, that link is gonna be right below. All you gotta do is scroll down and click there. You're gonna be able to find it. The question I really wanted to ask is what should be people looking for in that coach, right? Because sometimes we think that we might have found the right coach and we might be following this, and because it's the coach or came recommended by somebody that might have been like a good referral or a good client or something, we should stick with it. But at the same time, we might not be getting the results that we need, right? We haven't really been in that situation. Like we're like, knock on wood, we've found really, really good coaches. But I'm curious, like what should my English is not very good. What should people be looking for? There, boom.
I nailed it. I got it, dude. I got it.
Right. All right.
I think that one of the most important things that a business coach can offer you is a mirror. And let me elaborate on that a little bit. And so, for example, when I meet with Lauren and I talk to her and I'm telling her about things that are going on, she'll simply ask me questions and clarify and steer my thinking in the right direction to help me discover things that I hadn't discovered before. And so when you're looking for a business coach, I think you should find someone who is able to look at your business objectively and just kind of guide you and honestly want to help you grow. That's important. It's important that they're also someone that you get along with, because you more or less become work married to this person in a sense, and they know a lot about you. You spend time with them and you develop friendships and relationship with this person. And it really helps if you jive with them and respect where they're coming from. So the first thing would be to make sure that you guys get along and you like them. And the second thing was, how can they guide you? Where can they just lead you to help you grow and blossom? And those are like two things that I think are really important.
Yeah. I really like that answer because there's a lot of coaches that try to just tell you what to do, right? And I think the words that you use, they try to, steer you the right way, the right direction, make you come up with the answers. I think that is key because that's how we learn, actually. I remember I used to coach one-on-one soccer, right? And at first, that was kind of like one of my first experiences coaching. And I would tell them, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And guess what? Every single week when the kids would come back, they wouldn't know how to do it. And I would have to explain it again. And then the next week, same thing. And it got to one day that I told them, okay, how do you think it's done? And then I started asking questions. Okay, why do you hit the ball with that side of your foot, right? And they started giving me answers. And I realized that when they came back, they know it. They knew this stuff, right? They would just execute it, and I didn't have to repeat myself, and there was progress. And I was like, oh, so that's it. You need to invite these revelations into people with questions, right? Like, what are the questions that we're asking for them to come up with the right answer? And honestly, it also gives this sense of achievement, right? Because I'm sure when you come up with the right answer for your business, you're like, I got it. This is absolutely amazing. And you're proud, and then you take action and you feel even better. But when somebody else is telling you about it, and we know entrepreneurs, we don't like to be told what to do in the first place, right? That's why we build our own stuff, right? Because we don't want people telling us what to do. So if you get a coach and it's always telling you, do this and do that and do that, right? I feel like that might get a little bit in the way. And yes, sometimes we got to remove the ego, right, from the equation and learn to listen. But I love the fact that steering people with questions.
The way that I looked at it was like, imagine just like a globe and a sphere, and then they drop you on one point, and like that you want to build a successful business, but your compass is fucked up. It's broken. It doesn't point the right direction. And so you might be right here and your objective might be right here, but you could be walking all the way around the other side just to get 100 feet away. And you just don't know. How would you know? Your compass is broken. You haven't been taught what you need to learn to navigate the world of business. And my coach is there to point my compass in the right direction so I can get to my goals more directly without tripping over myself the whole time.
Yeah, I love it. We got the chance to play soccer in Europe, right? And cool. I remember I had these two coaches in that one very specific season. One was that guy that was telling you everything that you had to do. He was behind, like, I didn't like him, right? It was like, he's like, you need to be doing this, right? And that. And then we had the other coach that he would just sit and observe the whole thing, the whole session. And once a week, he'll bring us in and he'll show us a tape, right? And he'll be like, what do you think about this, right? And then you give your opinion. And then it's like, okay, what happens if you would have done this? Or he started asking those priming questions, right? And that's the coach I remember. That's the coach I really love. That's the coach that I really progressed with. And it was incredible because he then became a big part of my life moving forward, versus the other coach. If I see him, I probably don't even go say hi, right? And and I think that's very important, right, in this environment. Obviously, we've talked about it for a few minutes, but on that sense, like I want to transition a little bit with.
Wait, I'm gonna leave people with one question, with one phrase.
Do it.
Questions invite revelations, and not only for yourself, but when you ask those questions to other people as well,
like you were doing when producing content.
Better the answer too.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. So I want to transition a little bit, because what you did with content, what you just shared, was really interesting, right? Like when we started with producing content at this level, we also did a bunch of stuff. We're like, hey, by the way, if you need help here, like, where do you need help? And we were able to get on calls as well to find out a lot of information. It was like to see where do we steer that compass, because we didn't have a coach at the time, and help him, right? What motivated you to start creating? And was there a challenge that you had to overcome to stay consistent? Consistency is one of the things that we see in the marketplace that is really challenging to keep up, right? For us, the reason that we have been staying consistent with more than 200 episodes on the show, doing it live 3 times a week, is because we put systems in place to be able to do that. Now, what was your journey when you first started publishing? You said you started with Fireman videos, and then you started transitioning, listening to these people. How have you been able to stay consistent?
Well, the reason I started was because of Gary Vee, and I read some of his books, and he was just like, dude, just put yourself out there. What the fuck do you have to lose? If it doesn't work, just blame me. And I'm like, okay. But I had to get over the first hurdle, which was I was afraid to put myself out there. I was afraid of what my coworkers were going to think. Like, what are the other firemen going to say if they see me on TikTok? Like, hell, that scared the shit out of me. My brothers, what are my family going to say? What about my mom and dad, aunts, uncles, my wife, my kids, people I meet? Like, are they going to judge me? None of that ever happened, by the way. It was just all in my head. And so once I got over that, it took me some time on social media. I got to post a little bit before I could find my voice and get comfortable with who I was and how I presented myself on camera. And once I got there, things got much easier. So then I realized, like, okay, I can do this. I can put myself out there. I can post on social media, but it's too fucking time consuming. There's no way I can do all of this. So how do we do it? What system do I need to put in place? How can I solve this problem? And that's when I started splintering content. And I think you guys know exactly what that's all about.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would do. I would take pieces of my content, long form, and chop them up using systems, standard operating procedures with documents. And I would instruct my editors and content managers on exactly what to do. I would record something, drop it in a folder, and let them go to work based on what I had written out. And they would break everything up and make small videos and long videos and podcasts and blog posts. And the machine just started to work. Once I got the machine running, I could get into a stage of refinement and refining that content and figuring out what exactly it is that I'm really good at and sticking to it, and then making it better. So that's the stage I'm at right now. I'm refining, changing the way that I make my content, because I have the systems now. So I'm making it better.
Congrats. Like this is incredible. And thank you for that very honest answer, right? Because there's so much stuff out there. At the end of the day, like we probably went through a lot, like majority of like how people create, and the same thing, like we really had to start producing. We really had to remove the friction for us to actually do it. For us, it was going live on Facebook, and the challenge was 45 days straight, because we needed to like jumpstart the creation process, right? And we had to put ourselves out there. And what happened was incredible. We started having some questions being asked, right? We started interacting with people. We're like, oh, I feel comfortable sharing this type of stories. I feel comfortable sharing this type of topics, right? And then things started to evolve from there. So thank you. And I truly believe that is unique to each one of us, right? When we did the 45 live challenge publicly, we had about 100 people, and each one of them had different businesses, right? And they thought they were going to learn about Facebook Live. And that was not the premise. It's like, how do we transition from consumer to actually a producer, right? How do we actually do that? Whatever platform you're in, right? Whether that's TikTok, like how do you feel comfortable? How do you remove the friction to get started? And then from there, you can start building your systems like you just did. So thank you. Thank you for sharing your roadmap with everybody, because I believe that this is going to be very useful for the listener.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Evan, I'm curious on what are your thoughts now that you've been publishing consistently for a while? Right? Do you ever look back and you're like, maybe I should have done this differently, changed this, right? And what is it that publishing, creating content has brought to you and your business, right? I mean, not just the monetary reward, right? I mean, but is there any other types of reward that come from creating content?
Oh yeah. So first thing I wanted to mention was, oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. What was the first thing that you asked me before that? I wanted to touch on it.
What brought content? I lost my train of thought too.
Okay. It doesn't matter.
We got so motivated with the questions. Like, what was the reward of creating content? Like personally, like internally, right? Or even with the business?
Yeah. So once I started creating content, I started to understand like, oh, okay, like I can do this now. Like once I got to that point, well, how do I want to put this? It gave me a lot of practice speaking, telling my story, interacting with other people, communicating, and overall just helped communication in general. It helped me get to the point. It helped me tell stories better, which is a big skill to have. Very important in my opinion.
Yep.
You learn how to present yourself on social media, and you learn how to be able to get a message out there. And it's a powerful tool to have a platform to spread a message. And those are some of the things that have really benefited me. Plus, when you put yourself out there and people get to know you, it gives you a way to open doors. So for example, like we wouldn't be having this conversation if I never made content. And consequently, the people that I've reached out to talk to and bring on my podcast and pick their brain, like I just send them a message with my social media and they're like, oh, this guy, you're like, yeah, man, absolutely. Let's talk. And so it gives me a little bit of clout that opens up doors that it wouldn't be opening normally. And that is worth it. Oh my God, that is worth it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's a golden boulder right there. There we go. Evan, just so you know, golden boulders are like golden nuggets, just way bigger and powerful.
Bigger, yeah. I hope you're wearing your helmet, because
yeah, dude, that was awesome. And I love that you mentioned that part of the platform and connection, because honestly, I mean, we see building the audience kind of like as a collateral of creating content. The connections is like number one. Like you start increasing the value of your network, right? Again, like having this conversation right here. You have new friends. You never know. Like there's this phrase now that I read from a networking book, right? And this one, the first part, everybody knows, which is not what you know, but who you know. But then this second part of the phrase I read from the book, and is not what you know, but who you know that knows what you do, right? And then at what speed do you do that, right? At what speed do you like get other people to know what you do? Well, I made a mess out of that. I clearly need to
picking it up.
but this is the hook for today's episode.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is that having a platform like this allowed us, for example, that had zero audience when we started, to connect with these people and tell them exactly what we did and how we could help others, right? And guess what? Some of those people were a perfect fit to work together. Some of those other people were great for a partnership. And some other people, it wasn't a fit at all, but we became friends and it was absolutely amazing because now whenever we see them, they're like, oh, dude, Luis, FONZI, that's awesome. How are you guys doing?
Yes.
Or if they meet somebody that has the need that we can help them with, they're going to be like, I got the guys, go and meet Luis and FONZI, right? And that is so huge. So honestly, I mean, there's so many takeaways in today's episode, but
It's been good. It's been good.
this is probably one of the key moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Evan-
Business is a game of people. No matter what. It's what always comes down to people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Evan, to wrap up the show, we have two more questions, right? And one is like, what is one action point that somebody that's maybe in that transition between their job and going full-time entrepreneur, right? Or they're just starting their own business. How can they get momentum? What is one thing that they can do to start creating that momentum and move forward?
Take ownership. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to follow up on you. No one's going to make sure you pay your taxes. No one's going to make sure you start. No one gives a shit. And so you need to take ownership of your life and where you want to go. And if you haven't taken ownership and you don't, it's hard. If you haven't made changes, if you're not actively working to make changes, then you've accepted where you are.
Yeah.
So that would be my one big takeaway for me, at least.
I love it.
I love it. Thank you.
I
No,
love
I mean, internal locus of control, it is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Definitely.
Last question. Evan, where would you be if you never started publishing?
I would be less happy. I would be less fulfilled, and I wouldn't be on the right path because it's important to try things. It's important to figure out what you like, what you don't like, and what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can make money at, the whole Ikigai principle. And you have to experiment with shit because we don't know anything, dude. We're just a soul, a human being who's experiencing moments in time. And every time we experience a moment, we learn from it. And that makes up our character and who we are and how we deal with situations. And if you don't put yourself out there, how do you know if you like it? If you don't like making TikToks, how do you know? Maybe you're a blog writer, maybe you're a YouTube creator, maybe you're not. Maybe you're a good number 2, and that's what you want to be.
Yeah.
But you got to fucking figure it out. So you got to try stuff.
Yeah.
So try
Love
stuff, figure it out. If I hadn't started posting content, I would not be as fulfilled as I am today.
Wow.
Let's go.
Thank you
Let's
so
go.
much.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
They keep coming down, man, down the mountain.
Yeah,
Careful.
those are some impactful
Dude, that's
words
funny.
right
I
there.
like that.
Appreciate it. By the way, please, if you're just listening to this right now, please go and watch the video. Evan got some dope things right there in the background. I got the Pokemon cards. I know you got
Yes.
a Charmander right there. It's kind of hidden in the frame. It's so cool.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to do another episode, bring you back just to talk about all that stuff.
Just for that.
I'd love to.
Where can people find you? Where can people connect with you? What's the best way?
Oh, I appreciate you asking that. Just head over to vanitor.com. You'll find all my free stuff, all my paid stuff, everything that's going on. It's all there. Vanitor.com.
Let's go. Easy peasy. All you got to do is, grab your thumb, right? Is that it? Grab your thumb, FONZI.
Grab your thumb
and
and
just
then-
scroll down.
yeah,
Yeah,
scroll
there
down.
we go.
Evan, I have one last bonus question. How do people grow a magnifique stash just like that one, my friend?
You have to get through the awkward, uncomfortable phase. Almost everybody can grow a mustache, but there's like 2 months of awkwardness. Weather the storm, and then you can do it.
Evan, I'm just
love
gonna put this out there, man. I got stuck in that awkwardness for years. It's not happening for me, my man.
That's
You can
awesome.
do it.
Let's go.
Evan, if you ever shave the stash, man, you gotta do a video. You gotta do a whole event, a whole campaign around it. Market
I
that.
absolutely would. I absolutely would.
Love it, man. Love
Evan,
it.
anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate your time and your attention and giving me the opportunity to have a conversation with you. It means a lot.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
Thank you. It was incredible. With that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Contents Profit Podcast. Go ahead and follow the show on your favorite platform and on social media at BIZBROS. Go.
That is right. And if Evan today helped you move one step closer to your goal, please don't forget to share this episode and leave a 5-star review. See ya.
Bye, guys.